Hello and welcome to Pubbing with Rolfie, a series where I go around the country looking at alehouses, pubs and inns, places which have meant a lot to me in my life and I'm sure they've meant a lot to you as well. So come on this wonderful voyage of discovery. Cheers!
Welcome to the Hertfordshire city of St. Albans, an historic, thriving market town 22 miles north of London. Many famous people have lived in the city. Nicholas Bacon from 1509 to 1579. He was the Lord Keeper of the Great Seal under Queen Elizabeth I. Nicholas Breakspear, 1100 to 1159. He was the only English Pope, and he was named Pope Adrian IV. The town's clock tower was erected in 1403 and is one of the remaining two in England. Stephen Hawking, the theoretical physicist, was born in St. Albans in 1942 and he was educated at St. Albans School. The school was founded in AD 948 and includes the original Abbey Gateway. It still houses in the basement one of Caxton's original printing presses. It was here that St. Alban, the first Christian martyr, was executed by the Romans in AD 324. Its current population is 150,000.
Hello and welcome to the next episode of Pubbing with Rolfie. Today we're in St. Albans and we're going to go and visit the Fighting Cocks pub, one of the oldest pubs in the country, the oldest according to the landlord. So pop along with us and we'll show you a fantastic, brilliant pub. Okay, come along with us. Hello and welcome to the Fighting Cocks, which is in St. Albans, fantastic old pub. And we're interviewing the landlord of the pub, Mr. Christo Tafali, and nice to meet you, Christo.
Rolfie, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, sir. It's lovely to be here. Yeah.
Good.
And you've decided to take on the pub and to give it the best sort of like atmosphere it could possibly be. Could you give us a quick insight on how you got involved?
How we got involved,
Yeah.
we just couldn't say no, Rolfie.
Yeah.
Everyone in the world told us not to go into a pub,
Yeah.
buy a pub. They said it's dying, it's dead. And I just don't get that. And this beautiful old place has been left to rack and ruin over the last few years. So
Yeah.
over the next 20 years, I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing it up and turning it into one of the best pubs in the country.
Well, that's really brilliant, because that's the whole part of what we're doing with these videos, is trying to promote all the really good old pubs, especially ones with character. And this pub is unique, isn't it, in so many ways?
Well, being the oldest in the country is one great advantage as well, but other than the old decor and the wood and the beams, it's superb, absolutely superb.
Yeah, oh, excellent. And what type of people do you have down here? What's your clientele that you get? Can you give us
The clientele, the pub has 4 different faces. So firstly we'll start on Sunday,
Yeah.
where we have the most amazing Sunday lunch. We're fully booked every Sunday, and we've got families, kids, adults, old people, young people, everyone coming for Sunday lunch. Saturday, then we'll go to Monday onwards. We've got a lot of lunch business people coming in for lunch and evening dinner.
Yeah.
And then it all starts going wrong on Thursday
Right.
when we do the quiz night, basically.
Yeah.
Quiz night's packed and it's a busy night. And then Friday it turns into a nightclub in the evening. We have open mic. I bought a pub full of musicians. There's not a barman in the place.
They're all musicians.
Yeah. 90% of them are musicians, and so we've kicked off. We've pushed the radio, the open mic now. Instead of doing it every 2 weeks, we're doing it every week. We've now got some great bands lined up, some great local bands that are coming back now and headlining on a Saturday night. So Fridays and Saturday nights. Kitchen shuts a tiny bit early, around 8 o'clock, definitely on a Friday, because the party starts.
Right. Excellent. So you're getting a lot of your produce for your food and stuff from locally?
Well, Rolfie, you know what it's like. Everyone says they buy locally.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, they do.
Buy it. Yeah. So we buy locally at the moment, okay, and we buy from a really great fruit and veg supplier. He's local, he's been on the market for years.
Yeah.
He does a brilliant job. But he goes to Common Garden and gets the best veg. Well, that's not what I consider local.
No.
I consider it high quality veg, and that's where we're going at the moment. We're really happy with the produce.
Yeah.
But it's not local.
No.
And that's what we're professing to do. So we're actually teaming up with a local charity called Earthworks. All the work's done by people with learning disabilities. So we're going to be helping them. But equally what they're going to be doing is growing a large percentage of our veg, 12 months a year, organically in St.Albans.
Oh, that's excellent. That's brilliant.
You can't get more local.
No.
You can't get more organic. And you know, we're also looking at other farmers to do the same thing locally, and they're really getting on board. And it's quite interesting the support that we're getting.
That's great, and I expect a lot of customers appreciate the fact that the quality of the food is really, really worth having. You know, it's top notch.
Yeah, well, when we bought the place, the prices weren't cheap on the menu. I certainly wasn't going to put them down.
No.
So what we have done is we've compromised the margins slightly. We've upped the quality in every department. The fish is bought mainly from the south coast on the day. We can name the boat, even the skipper, where it was caught. And if we get it from, if we get some tuna or say from the States, we get a tag to say what time it was caught, exactly where it was caught, who caught it, how much.
Excellent.
So everything's as fresh as you can get it.
Right.
At the moment, all the meat, most of the meat is coming from butlers in the town, second oldest shop in St.Albans, which is great. And we just commissioned somebody to make our own sausages. Well, I'm rather passionate about bangers.
Oh, I love it. I love it as well.
And I every pub in the country sells sausages.
Yeah.
Very few sell excellent sausages. Well, they're the ones we're going to sell. We've tied up with a called Mr. Sausage, I call him. Actually the person that imports and grinds and mixes the spices himself. We're mixing the blends together. And essentially we sat over a couple of beers one night and invented some new sausages. The meat cuts are going to be the best from the best pigs.
So when you were just telling me a bit earlier about you're getting all the pumps redone and you're getting all the piping and the whole place is being stripped. Not the essential beautiful scenario that we've got here. No. But the technical side of things are really getting up to top notch.
Yeah, without a doubt, the brewery have been brilliant. Once you get the old wheels moving, but it was easy to support a case of what we're trying to do here, and you can't have a good pub without pouring your beer well. Things do need updating, so essentially we're not cheating, we're doing a lot. All the lines from cellar to bar redone, all the equipment replaced. So we're going to be serving some of the best beer you can buy. We've got a great selection ready.
Yeah, well, could you tell us a few of the beers that you've
got? Well, one of my favourites, St.Albans Broadside.
Lovely.
It goes amazingly, and it's such a beautiful pint if you're having the one or two. You're enjoying a Doom Bar. Doom Bar is quite popular at the moment. We're seeing a lot of pubs, but I think it's one of the most consistent pints I've seen in years. Every barrel and virtually the whole barrel is beautiful. There's no real low spots.
No. And we had a little bit of a chat earlier on about going down into the basement, and we went down there, and there's some tunnels connecting with the Abbey, and from a long time ago.
Yes, many years ago. There is a hole in the cellar wall where the new cellar wall is formed, where all the beer lines go up. Which we're changing in a week or so. So we're going to test that little hole to see if it's big enough. But we can basically get a camera in there with a torch, and you can see the old cellar walls leading up with a round top edge, and you see them going round the corner, but we can't quite see how far they go or where the tunnel starts. So there's even talk of some sonar going down there to see if we can reveal them that way.
That'd be fascinating. We'll keep us updated on that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, well, it's been fantastic having a chat with you. Thank you so much, and all the best for the future with this.
Rolfie, thanks very much. Good luck, and all my best to all the other pubs out there.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Well, hello, Gary.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Yes. We're doing this series about pubs and looking after the old ancient pubs of England and Britain.
Okay.
And have you been down to the Fighting Cocks before?
I have, yes. I have frequented it on many occasions, having lived in St.Albans some time ago for about 10 years.
Right.
A beautiful place in the world to be, St.Albans, lovely city, of course with the cathedral around the corner. And the Fighting Cocks being one of the oldest pubs, if not, quoted by the Guinness Book of Records.
Definitely. Yeah. And what attracts you to the pub then? What's so special about this pub, rather than because we're in St Albans, we've got about 67 tea pubs now, something like that.
Yes.
What's so unique about this pub that really you love?
Well, there's a combination of things. One, that you've got the park literally right next door. So certainly when when I had my son was younger, I'd be typically around this area, and so we'd pop in for maybe a bite to eat or lunch. But also the character of the pub, the age, the team, the staff here are fantastic. Landlords are great as well, and so the combination of all those put together make it a great experience overall. And of course, keeping with the spirit of the pubs, as you mentioned.
Definitely.
It's something really exciting and something that we, the family come here regularly. We're here, probably once or twice a week.
Oh right, yeah.
So with family, Sunday lunch is fantastic here.
It is, because I've lived in St Albans since '73, and so I've sort of like. I think I've been to every pub in St Albans, but this one, to be honest with you, on various occasions. But this one always has a sort of like a special magic about it because of its location, because of the history. And it really is the epitome of a real brilliant British pub, isn't it?
Yes, I absolutely agree. And as I mentioned to you before, having lived out in the country now for some time, that you do miss that Britishness of things, and pubs are a fundamental part of British life. I think it's great.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for talking
to
us. It's been very interesting, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
Welcome to the garden of the Fighting Cocks, and I've got a friend of mine, Kevin Yeldon, who's an expert on old medieval and Tudor food, and welcome, Kev.
Hi, Paul.
Hello there. Hi.
Pleased to be here, mate.
Thank you very much. And can you tell us a little bit about the type of food that would used to be eaten in this pub? Perhaps around about 1500s or whatever.
Yeah, I mean anywhere from about the late 1200s through to the early 1500s. The cuisine doesn't change very much.
Yeah.
So that's a good start point. We can talk about other periods as well if you like. One thing to remember about today is it's Friday. Mm-hmm. Now that means in period no meat. Right. It's a fish day. Like a Wednesday and a Saturday, a Friday is a fish day.
Yeah.
So no matter where you are, whether you're at a country house, whether you're in the palace, whether you're out on the streets, whether you're in a pub, in reality, you're still abiding by the rules. Here, they're going to be providing you with quite simple fare for arriving. There will be some what you might call tidbits, value-added type food, where you're looking at slightly more expensive things. The things you might remember from, say, Shakespeare, a little bit later in period, but things like a capon, which is a bird that's raised specifically for the table by someone. Obviously, hens normally kept for the eggs.
Yeah.
At the end of their life, they become a boiling fowl.
Yeah.
And very nice they can be too, and a wonderful producer of stock. But some chickens are also raised specifically for food, and obviously capon is a gentleman chicken who's had his essentials removed at an early age, so he puts on weight rapidly.
Right, yeah.
And produces more. So you can have a wonderful roast fowl.
Yeah.
The difference perhaps between here and a place like, say, the Abbey or a local noble household is going to be what they do with the sauce. Right? When you're talking about a simple plain roast, all right, it always comes down to the sauce. But I probably ought not really to be talking about capons and things, because after all, it's fish day.
Right, yes, sure.
Same thing with fish, though.
Right, yeah.
Right. Generally speaking, fish, wet and cold, according to the humour theory. Therefore, the two best ways probably of cooking fish, fry them,
Yeah.
or roast them in some way or another. Now, roast does not mean put it in an oven and bake. That's actually baking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roast means to put it next to a fire.
All right.
So often on a trivet. So
Yeah.
grid of metal.
Yeah.
Put the fish on there. You're roasting. Now that's going to basically produce just something that's flavoured entirely of the fish.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can put some herbs on. If you're going very upmarket, you might be producing adding an imported thing like a lemon on it. But the main thing you're going to do with fish is you're going to sauce it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily, the very same types of sauce that will be produced in the noble households are quite easy to produce at this level, right? Because really you're talking about fresh pot herbs.
Right,
Right.
yeah. What type of herbs are they then?
Okay, well let's have a think. If we wanted to play with fish, some of the herbs you might think of yourself anyway. What sort of herbs would you automatically think of
Well,
with fish?
I would think with fish, tarragon or perhaps, or something like, what else would you put on a fish that's quite nice?
Parsley? Dill?
Parsley?
Dill?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
okay. Those sorts of things.
Dill, yeah.
Very much the same sort of idea. Where you start...
Lemongrass?
Unfortunately, lemongrass
Yep.
didn't tend to get imported along the spice route at this period.
Oh, right.
And because it would also come across the spice route, you're talking high-level cuisine.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
So not something you're going to be seeing here.
Okay, that's very interesting, yeah. And how many times have you been down to this pub in the past, and what's your experiences of it?
Well, oddly, this is, despite the fact that I lived in St.Albans for a brief period of time, this is actually my first time down to the Fighting Cocks.
Oh, right.
Because it was just that inconvenient extra distance, which required either a certain amount of commitment on the part of the drinker in terms of legs coming down here and then back, or an inability to drink because you're driving.
Right, okay, fair
Neither
play.
of which is necessarily a good thing, and there are so many good drinking pubs in St Albans that if one's attention was focused towards drinking, you perhaps stay in the more central area.
Well,
but if you want a nice environment to come
Beautiful
out
place
and
to come
actually
to.
visit, and the interior of the pub, which you'll have seen in some other shots, I think, This is a lovely, lovely place to visit, and it does have some nice ale, and believe it also has a reputation for some quite nice food, which perhaps we'll get around to trying at some point.
We certainly will. Well, thank you very much for that, Kev. That was
That's
a brilliant insight. Cheers. All the best.
Cheers.